You just said the line in your head, didn't you? This part from Stanley Kubrick's The Shining has been mocked, copied, and been paid homage to for years. Much like the analysis and theories for this film, while there are plenty of unique theories, there is one that isn't explored. Leading up to this point, the main character, Jack Torrance, played by Jack Nicholson, has transformed into a monster seeking to murder his wife Wendy, played by Shelley Duvall, and son Danny, played by Danny Lloyd, due to partly the hotel he and his family have been staying at over the past winter months, and partly the evil spirits that reside in the Overlook Hotel. Except, what if there were no spirits? What if the ghosts haunting the Torrance family weren't from the hotel, but were from Jack's past? Many believe the film to be about a man losing his mind. The film does show the descent of Jack throughout the winter months that give good reason to believe that Jack is easily just losing his mind. One aspect of the film that is easily overlooked, however, is Wendy and Danny's seemingly inescapable cycle of abuse from Jack. When Jack and his family are walking with the manager of the hotel, Jack says,
"But I wouldn't want to go in there unless I had an hour to spare to find my way out."
Later in the film, there is a scene where Wendy and Danny are exploring the hedge maze. The scene cuts to Jack overlooking a miniature model of the maze with two very tiny people walking around. Jack has become godlike. He has them right in the palm of his hands. This maze seems to represent how Wendy and Danny are lost in a never-ending cycle of abuse caused by Jack putting up the barriers. All of these scenes can convey a deeper meaning of being stuck in a continuous, abusive cycle, never finding a way to escape.
Grab his arm, you know, to pull him away from him. It's just the sort of thing you do 100 times with a child, you know, all because he said, "Wendy, I'm never going to touch another drop. And if I do, you can leave me."
Within the first 20 minutes of the film, Wendy gives most of the information that the audience needs to know about Jack, that he has had a past of alcoholism and has injured Danny before.
I did hurt him once, okay? It was an accident. Completely unintentional. Could happen to anybody. It was 3 goddamn years ago!
But here, there is a huge contradiction. We see that Jack has hurt Danny multiple times in the past, but only thinks he has injured him once. This contradiction shows that Jack does in fact have a history of abuse with his family. Later, when Jack is talking to who he presumes to be the previous caretaker of the hotel, Dilbert Grady, Jack fully agrees when Grady tells him that he needs to
deal with this matter in the harshest possible way, Mr. Torrance.
With the history that we know from Grady, we know exactly what he is implying. This part reflects more of his easy willingness to revert back to the violence rather than try to fix his previous ways. Jack is embracing a tantalizing temptation of abuse, which takes place in form of a beautiful naked woman. Once he sees her true form, a bloated dead corpse, he revolts in shock and seemingly regrets his decision. Upon his return, however, he tells Wendy that there was no one there, implying his inability to admit his abusive flaws.
You're distracting me, and it will then take you time to get...
Jack's abusive nature is coming from his masculine narcissism that is stemmed from his creative artistic process. His narcissism begins with him thinking Wendy is a distraction to him. During the final chase, Danny is able to use the hedge maze to his advantage as he is able to outsmart his rage-filled father and successfully escape with his mother, leaving Jack alone in his own maze. These final images of the film give the important message that abuse is rooted deep in our history and surrounds us. To some, abuse may be seen as a never-ending cycle. However, as seen by Wendy and Danny, Kubrick shows that it is possible to escape the torturous cycle of abuse. Wendy and Danny's escape provides the thought that abuse can be overcome.